Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this Lenovo ThinkPad. This is a model E595, alright, so you can see on the bottom corner, E595. We're going to be replacing the hard drive because the hard drive went bad. It was having issues where it would take forever to even start up or show anything. The screen would just go black, or it would show it's like recovering Windows. So yeah, alright, anyways, let's go ahead and open this thing up. We're going to be using a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver to undo all the screws on the bottom. Alright, so just undo all of them. Okay, it looks like these screws actually stay attached to the case. If this video helps you out, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, so we're going to undo all these screws. I actually already tested trying to upgrade the hard drive by trying to clone it, but it was having issues reading and the clone just kept failing. But anyways, you can see all these screws are actually staying attached to the case. So once we get all those screws out, now we're going to have to pop the bottom cover off. So the way you do that, it looks like go this way. Okay, so from here you can see there's a gap between the case and the bottom cover. Go from there and then push with your thumb on the bottom to pop the clips. Right, and we're just going to go all the way around. Okay, around the sides. Okay, it looks like once you get to the sides, the back piece kind of lifts itself. So now that we got all of this, we're just going to kind of carefully lift. If it gets caught, you might have to wiggle it a little bit like that, but there you go. That's what the inside looks like. Okay, so the customer just needed minimal upgrade. They didn't want like to go with a really large storage. We have the hard drive here. We got 2 sticks of RAM. I'll do a close-up for you guys, but yeah. Alright, here's the battery. I'm not going to be pulling out stuff I don't need to. This battery connector, if you need to get it out, usually I'll grab and pinch the wire. Like I'll have to lift the battery up, get my fingers underneath, and then kind of wiggle it side to side to make this connector kind of rock its way out. But they do have this little tab you can kind of use to pull, but I never have much luck with those. Battery model number is right here, L17C3P51. Okay, 2 slots for RAM. To get the RAM out, there's these metal tabs. You pull them to the side. I like to keep my fingers on top so to stop it from just flying up. Pops out like that. And this is an 8 gig PC4 2666V stick of RAM. You should be able to upgrade to any PC4 2666V RAM. Okay, so yeah, if you want, you can put 2 16 gigs. If they have 32 gigs, you can put that. Okay, I'm going to just lift them out just in case, wipe the connectors, and then put them back in because sometimes after opening it, it has some weird issues. Okay, pretty rare, but sometimes, so might as well make sure it's in all the way. Wireless card here. If you want to remove the antennas, you go from the tail and pull up. I know somebody's going to comment how I wipe the connectors with my fingers. Don't worry about it. I've done it on lots and I've never had any issues, even 10, 20 years later. Okay. Anyways, you got, pretty sure there's a CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery connected under here, but I'm not going to take that out. Oh, there's pieces of plastic that are broken off here. I don't know if this case is so old and brittle or something, or if they dropped it at some point, but anyways, here's the speaker connector, and this connects to the other speaker all the way over here. Okay, and these aren't held in with screws, they're just held in with these rubber things so you can pull it out. Oh, see, this is why I don't usually take out things if they're not broken. So this rubber piece came up here, and now I'm gonna have to take it out, and I'm gonna have to get it to go back in to this little piece. Let me see if I can zoom in and show this. Maybe it'll be a learning experience for you guys, but for me, because I'm just doing this work to help a customer, I don't want to risk damaging other stuff. So some people say, why don't you just take other things apart? You can see there's always weird little things that can happen. So unless you really need to remove parts, don't be removing a bunch of random stuff. I've had some where the solder for wireless antennas were bad and then the connector will break off. It's really rare, but you don't want it to happen, and then a customer goes, what happened? Why is my wireless dead? All right. You got this board here for the Ethernet port, USB port, micro SD card, and I think that's it. This looks like a gap. There's nothing there. Usually you would use the little connector here to kind of pull these up, or this tab. Sometimes it'll have a loop, but usually I find these are hard to get it out, so I end up having to pry up from the bottom with my fingernail while I'm pulling this up. Be careful if you're using pry tools because you don't want to accidentally pry the connector off the motherboard. You just want to pull this cable out. All right, it looks like there's a slot for an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. Excuse me, an M.2 PCIe NVMe here, but we're not. I didn't know it had that slot because I only heard the regular hard drive in there having issues. So, anyways, we got a 500 gig, 2.5-inch SATA SSD. All right, you got this fan here connected. It looks like it's attached to the heatsink. There's no screws holding it down. CPU is soldered to the motherboard here. All right, so you can't swap or upgrade the CPU. All right, this one is the LCD LVDS connector. If you're gonna mess with this, it's very important that you disconnect the battery first. Make sure it's not plugged in. Open the laptop, press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds. Then you can go ahead and pull this connector out. If you don't, there's a good chance you can fry your motherboard, the backlight circuit, the screen, the cable here. So you don't want to take that risk just to save a little time of disconnecting the battery. All right, I'm pretty sure this is the touchpad trackpad connector. It says JCP1. Actually, there's no specific keyboard connector here. Maybe I will lift the battery just for you guys to see. Let me see here. Just to do, hopefully this one won't have any weird issues. If it's difficult to pop out, then I'll skip that, but let's see. Oh, actually these screws were super loose, so maybe good thing I took it out. It looks like there's another screw here. I don't know if there was a screw here at some point, but it's missing the little brass mount thing if it did have a screw there before. All right, let's see if we can lift this. Okay, it looks like we can just lift this over, and here you can see, yep, that's for the touchpad. Where does the keyboard connect? And here's the CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery. It has some part number there, but I don't know. All right, I have a company that was like giving me a referral link or something for, I don't remember how much percentage off. But if you need help finding a CMOS battery and can't find one, I can see if I can find one on there. I don't know. Their company's called RoamTech. Alright, anyways, I put it on like some of my other videos where I did CMOS BIOS battery replacements, but usually those batteries tend to last a very long time and you don't really need to replace them, so yeah. Alright, let's get these screws back in. I'm assuming that means on this model either the keyboard comes out from the top or you have to basically undo the entire, let's see. Oh yeah, I think the keyboard comes out from the top on this model. From the design, you can see there's like a groove all the way around. But I'm not gonna mess with it. I think this model, I've seen on some of these models, you have to pop these buttons off and then there's screws underneath there. But I don't see any indication on this one how it's being held in place. So I don't want to mess around with it and then again accidentally cause more damage. Anyways, what we're gonna do is we're gonna replace the 2.5-inch SATA hard drive. It's not actually the size is 2.5-inch, but that's just what they call it. I'm not sure why. Anyways, you got this little tab here. I don't know if somebody moved it at one point because this tab seems pretty short, but you gotta basically pull this, okay? And if it doesn't come out, you have to pull this inwards because it has a little piece of plastic that sticks out into a little groove back here. So you're gonna pull this in and then pull the whole thing up, okay? Just like, or maybe I can just do it this way. Come on, pull that in and then pull this. There you go. Okay, and be very careful because this is attached here. If you want, you can actually disconnect this cable. There's a flip latch here that you can lift that latch and then you can pull it up and carefully pull that out. Usually I don't do that though. Usually I would just go straight at this and then I would use my thumbnail to pry it. You can see how it's pulling that out and on the other side. But if you do that, you want to be careful because you don't want to bend this or damage this cable here. Anyways, that's the hard drive. We're going to now take this little bracket off. There's no screws holding it in. It's just held in with these little, I don't know what you call these, nubs or whatever. And then you just got to kind of wiggle it as you pull it. All right, and there we go. So we got the hard drive out and we're going to replace it with an SSD. So we have this Samsung SSD here. You want to basically plug it the same way. So let's go ahead and attach this first. Just attach that on there. Okay, since I did a test clone, it's probably already going to have partitions and stuff on it. But yeah, all right, so line this up. Get that lined up, put that on. Get that lined up, put that on, and then same thing here and here. All right, we're gonna first go ahead and plug this cable in. There's some dust in there. Let me make sure to get that out. Okay. Get this cable in. Oh, actually, there's some adhesive on the bottom here. So this, because it's so old, it looks like the adhesive peeled itself up. So keep that in mind. If you're peeling this up, there's adhesive. And if you're not careful and you just try and rip this up, you're going to tear this trying to pull the adhesive off the board. Okay. So actually, you probably will be better, have better luck if you were to do it the way I said, where, let me zoom out here. Instead of disconnecting this cable, you basically just get your fingernail or something in there and pry this out like that. Okay. So that way you can remove the drive that way. The only thing is when you go to put it back, you got to make sure to kind of line this up, okay? And then you got to push that in like that. And make sure you're not pushing this part outwards because you don't want to stretch this cable and then have it hit on this plastic and damage. So you actually want to hold this drive all the way in if you're going to do it and push it. That way it can't go any further. All right, now we're going to lower this down and then just click this in. If it can't go straight down, you might have to push this inwards because of the little, oh, I didn't show you guys, but there's this little piece that protrudes out and goes into that hole. So you might have to pull that down or push that down and then get that in, and you can see that piece goes into there. All right, let's zoom out again. Oops, you don't need to see all the junk on my desk. All right, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna try and install Windows 11. Hopefully this laptop supports it. If not, we'll just put back Windows 10. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and push back all the clips back down. And I think some of the clips are probably broken. That's why there were like plastic pieces falling out. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get this back in. So I like to twist it backwards till you hear it click and then tighten that screw down. All right, and we're going to do that all the way around. Again, hopefully this video helps you out. If it did or does, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Right? If you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. Other than that, I do have another channel called It's Been Reviewed and More. It'd be super helpful if you could subscribe to that one as well. That one, I just review a bunch of random stuff, right? There's no specific theme. Majority of it is stuff from Costco, but I do review other random things on there. Okay, so yeah. And if you're trying to find it, again, it's called It's Been Reviewed and More. It's the same profile picture, but zoomed in. I have also been putting the review videos on this channel, but I'm hoping one day that that channel will pick up and then all of that content will just be on that review channel. All right, anyways, there we go. We got all those screws in. I'm going to flip this over. Let's go ahead and put the Windows 11 USB installer in. Okay, and let's see if we can boot from it. Usually on Lenovo computers, it's F12, but it'll usually tell you like to press the enter key to pause the startup to get the whole startup menu. Let's see if this one does that or if it says something else. I'm going to just be pressing enter because, oh yeah, to interrupt startup, press enter. All right, then it gives you this whole menu of stuff you can do. Again, we just need to go to the temporary startup device, so F12. But if for some reason Windows 11 has some setting that's not supported, so we got to go to the SanDisk Cruiser Fit. All right, usually what I find is Windows 11, because it needs TPM 2.0, and then you usually want secure boot on, and sometimes there's some other settings, but the main one is that. The SSD, sometimes, well, since we're not using an M.2, we won't have that issue, but a lot of times on the laptops that use M.2 PCIe NVMe SSDs, the M.2 SSD won't be detected if it has the Intel Optane, Intel IRST, or RAID setting on, unless you have the Intel Rapid Storage, whatever driver to load while you're installing Windows. So keep that in mind. Usually I just disable that feature because if you just have one SSD, I don't think that feature shouldn't be doing anything. It basically acts as a RAID. And if you only have one SSD, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't use it. All right. Anyways, we're going to go next. Next, install Windows 11. I agree. Next, and I am using keyboard shortcuts tab and shift tab to navigate so I don't have to move the mouse around to specific points. It's a lot faster this way. But anyways, let's go ahead and see. Hopefully it will see the SSD just fine. It should, because again, it is a 2.5 inch SATA, not an M.2. All right, so we got that. We'll accept license and terms. Again, I did clone the old hard drive partially, so it does have partitions on this drive. I'm going to have to delete those, and I'll show you how to do that. But yeah, pretty straightforward. It's now searching for the disks. There we go. We see, oh, we only see partition 0. Where's the SATA hard drive? Is this really affecting that as well? That is weird. Okay, I'm going to exit this. I've never seen a Windows. Okay, so we're going to have to go into the BIOS settings. We're going to go enter on startup. Is it starting itself? Okay, enter on startup. Okay, then we need to go into BIOS, which is F1 for this computer. Let's see if there's that RAID setting that's messing with it. I've never seen it affect a regular SATA hard drive before, but it looks like it's causing problems. So date and time, March 16th, I believe that's right. Security. Okay, let's see. We got secure boot. We can turn that on. That is on already. Okay, what is happening here? So UEFI only. Okay. All of that looks okay. What's happening? What's causing this? Security issue? No. Security chip. TPM 2.0 is on, so that's fine. Okay. UEFI, that's fine. Memory protection is fine. Virtualization is fine. IO port access is fine. Integrated internal storage channel. Okay, no, we don't need that. Anti-theft. Okay, we don't need to mess with that. Secure boot is on. Device guard, we don't need that. Secure wipe, we don't need that either. What is this? Is it their USB adapter thing that's broken? Okay, we got config, network, that's all fine. USB, that's all fine. Keyboard and mouse, that's all fine. Display, that's all fine. Power. Beep and alarm. There's no other settings here. Huh. This is weird. Why is it not? This is really strange. Okay, OS optimized defaults. What is this? This default value settings below are changed accordingly. Microsoft Windows 8. We'll leave that. So I don't know what's causing it to not see the hard drive. That's so strange. Save configuration and exit. I've never seen one have that issue before. Let's see. I'm going to press F12 and then just boot normally again and see. I wonder if it's that connector. We did plug everything in right. That's so strange. It's showing Windows Boot Manager here, but nothing happens there. Let's try this again. I'm going to pause the video because you don't need to see the whole process of it going back into the accept, agree, and all that for Windows 11. So I'll see you guys once that's back up to the screen where I can't see the drive again, or if for some reason it sees the drive, then we'll continue. All right, see you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back. Since I couldn't find the IMEI RAID SATA setting, let's see if we can load the driver. So if it is because of that, so we're going to go to the USB. I actually created or put the driver here. You can see we have the Intel VMD driver here. So we're going to go into there. Let's see if it doesn't find anything. So it's not a driver issue. That's really strange. Pretty sure it's not going to find anything with this. Oh wait, it's an AMD Ryzen, so they don't even have that setting. So this is weird. I'm not too sure why the SSD is not showing up. I might have to double check the connection for the SSD and see, because this is really strange. So let me do that real quick and I'll be back. And maybe I'll use my other computer just to format it, just in case. Actually, does it let me go to... I can't even go to it, huh? I want to go to the command prompt and see if I can manually. Let's quit this. And yeah, that's really strange. Why does it not let me even see the disk? Let's see if it sees it in command prompt. That's really strange. Okay, we're gonna go to the boot again. unless that SATA USB connector is messed up or not connected right. All right, we're gonna boot from the USB again. Let's see. Hopefully I can go to the Windows 11 recovery options. All right, I'll let this load and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So I went through all the settings. This time we're gonna click repair PC, repair my PC. Let's go to, hopefully it gives me the command prompt. So there we go. Let's see if it shows up. Disk part, list disk. It doesn't see the hard drive. That's really strange. Okay, so I guess what we're gonna do, we gotta kill this, double check the hard drive connection and see what's going on. That's really strange. I've never seen it do that before. Is it gonna turn itself on? No? Okay, I think it's completely off. So let's go ahead now and double check the connection. Obviously you can just fast forward over this part, but I want to record this just so they know what work was done on their computer. Okay, let's go ahead and get this out. That's really strange. Also, I did open this before and cleaned it. If you notice, there's not much dust in here. And if you're wondering why, that's why. All right. Okay. I'm starting to wonder if that little SATA USB cable is the issue. I don't know if I have a smaller capacity M.2 SSD to put in there, though. All right. Okay, actually I'm hearing all the clips on clips, so I wonder where those broken plastic pieces that fell out came from. All right, anyways, there's that. Also, if you want to see how this is designed, so it's like that. Yeah, those little pieces that fell off, I don't know where they came from. Huh, interesting. Okay, anyways, this looks like it's connected all the way, all right? Everything looks connected all the way. Does it just not like this kind of SSD for some reason? I don't know what's going on. This is really weird. The connector looks fine. This looks all fine. That's all plugged in. Let me see. Is there something back here? No. It all looks fine. I don't see anything strange going on here. So this is really weird. I don't know why it's not detecting the SSD. Okay, this is pushed in all the way. That latches down. This is in. All right. Also, there's little latches that go towards the bottom here. Make sure you push those all the way in for the little bracket, mounting bracket. I'm going to test this one more time. You don't need to see this, so I'll be back. And then if it doesn't work, I'm going to have to look for an M.2 SSD and then test with that. All right, I'll be back. Or actually, I can try another SSD for, I don't know, in case this one has some weird compatibility. Okay, so I'm trying with another SSD right now just to make sure. I don't know what's going on. I double checked on my other computer. It was actually completely wiped out to where there were no partitions at all. The weird thing is with the other SSD I just put in here right now, it did show in the boot, like when I press F12, it showed the model of the SSD. So that's kind of strange. I'm going to try this one again after formatting it just to see. Also, I put in the old hard drive just to hear that the disk was spinning around, so I could be sure that it's getting power. And here you can see unallocated space. Oops. Let me make sure to hold the SSD up so I don't drop it. But here you can see unallocated space. It's showing the other SSD. So it might be either it wanted to see that the drive was initialized, because when I initially started it, I uninitialized the drive. Basically, I cleared all the partitions off the SSD and made sure there was nothing showing. So I'm wondering if that's what was causing it to be weird. If not, I'm going to have to let the customer know that I need to either, right now I have a 250 gig SSD that I ended up not needing for another job. So depending what the customer wants, if this doesn't work, I can either use that 250 gig SSD, or I can put in a 1 terabyte. So we'll see what they want to do. All right, anyways, I'm gonna click this one in and we'll try one more time. I know you're probably getting sick and tired of seeing the same exact hard drive SSD installed thing, but yeah, we're gonna go in here and see if it even shows up. Okay, I didn't change anything else. So let's see what happens. That will be strange. See, it doesn't show the SSD at all. That's really strange. So for some reason, it doesn't like this SSD. So I'm gonna have to ask my customer what they want to do, because I don't think I have another 500 gig SSD anywhere. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. I'll find out. Actually, ooh, I have a Lexar one. Okay, I have this Lexar one. I'll use that if this doesn't work. So we'll find out. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, well, we had no luck with this SSD. I don't know, it doesn't like this one. Maybe because it's an older model I had. All right, let's go ahead and pop it out. I guess I'll have to use this for something else. We'll go ahead and pull the SSD out of here. Okay, and we'll put in this 480 gig Lexar SSD. Hopefully this one will work okay, because it worked fine with the Crucial. If not, I'm gonna have to see if the customer wants a 240 gig or a 1 terabyte. And the data that I backed up for them, they only wanted a few files, but then I checked to back up everything and it took like over 100 gigs. So we'll see, it depends what they want. All right, anyways, we're just gonna get this in, and I'm pretty sure this one's gonna work okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and screw everything back in, because if the Crucial one worked, make sure to unplug the USB. All right, if the Crucial one worked, I don't see why this one wouldn't work. Although I don't know why the Samsung one doesn't work. That's kind of weird. I've had some computers where they're kind of strange and they only accept like certain SSDs. I don't know what's different about the SSDs that make it accept it versus the other ones. So it's really strange. I don't know. If anyone knows what would be the determining factor of whether the SSD works or not, let me know. I don't know. I'd like to know. That's kind of strange. Maybe it's like the way they do the layers of, but I don't know. It would all be based on the controller, right? Not the, yeah. So that's really strange. Okay. While I'm putting in these screws, I might as well let it start doing the Windows install. So we'll plug that in, power it up, and we'll press F12. I'm not going to show the entire install process, but I'm going to show up to where I do the username, because I put the username, I don't like using the Microsoft account. I don't like linking it. And you can actually see the Lexar SSD is showing up here, so it's working fine. So we're gonna go ahead and now boot this. Yeah, so I don't know why it's not detecting that specific SanDisk, or not SanDisk, Samsung SSD. It might be something to do with it being an older one. I mean, it's a 850 Evo. I think now they have 880 or 890 or something. So that's an older SSD, but I was hoping it would work anyways. Anyways, we'll see. We'll just get all this. I don't know what would cause it to not work. That's so strange. Okay. So we got all the screws back in, and then hopefully I'll be able to show you the entire setup process. Well, not the entire setup process, but up to show you how I do it without a Microsoft account. All right, so if you're wondering how I skip straight to the button, I push Shift Tab and then enter, Shift Tab and enter, and then Tab here, space, Shift Tab twice, and then enter. If you're wondering what that does, Tab goes to the next item, and then Shift Tab goes reverse, so it goes counterclockwise or instead of clockwise, or I don't know if it's considered clockwise, because usually I'll just go down like rows like that. Okay, so anyways, this should work because it does see the SSD now. All right, and then we're just gonna continue and we'll do the installation. So yeah, I guess I'll use this SSD to migrate their stuff back over. And I'll just connect it using this SATA USB. That way I can get their data transferred over without having to do it the other way. And here you can see the unallocated 447.1 gigs. All right, we're just gonna continue there. And that's showing disk 0. All right, this process does take a little while, so after you click next, don't panic. It always takes a while. You can see it's just stuck here. Okay, there you go. And then we're gonna shift tab to install, press enter, and here you go, it's installing Windows 11. So I'm gonna let this run, and then once it gets to the part where it tells you to create all your user account and everything, I'll show you how I bypass the thing. Also, the bypass allows you to install or set up your account without having internet. Most of the time now, Windows 11 forces you to connect to the internet, or it won't even let you create your account and everything, which is very annoying. So yeah, I'll show you how to bypass that. And yeah, I have a separate video showing specifically that, but I don't know what to title it so people can easily find it. All right, anyways, we're gonna let this run, and then I'll be back once it gets to that whole setup, create your account and everything part. All right, see you guys in a bit. All right, so it restarted itself, should be starting up soon. Let me show you what I mean about how it forces you to connect to the internet and how it forces you to create a Microsoft account. Well, I'll show you the internet part, and then after that, you don't need to see the forced Microsoft account, because it'll basically do the same thing. Oh, it looks like it's installing some more stuff. So we gotta wait again, I guess, and I'll be back once it gets to the main screen. All right, it restarted again. Hopefully that's the last time. And then I will show you the trick to boot. Okay, it's going, you can see the higher or the lower resolution. Oh, it's still going. Come on, finish up. I guess I'll be back again. Oh, no, okay, it's actually almost done. Come on, do your stuff. Come on, do your stuff. Okay, there we go. Windows 11 is starting up, and let me show you. It's gonna force you to connect to Wi-Fi. Okay, US, yes. US, yes. Second keyboard, skip. Okay, so here's the Wi-Fi. It says, let's get you connected. You see, there's no option to skip this. So what you do to get around that, you hold the shift key, right? And then press F10. If it doesn't work, you might have to hold the function key. You can see shift F10 didn't do anything. So I'm gonna now have to hold shift and the function key here, and then press F10. And there we go, we got this. We're gonna now have to click into here. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna type OOBE and then /. Okay, you can see bypassnro, just like that. All right, no spaces, nothing. Press enter. You can see it's restarting itself. Okay, and after that, it will have an option that will let us skip the Wi-Fi, and then we can create an account without a Microsoft account. Don't connect to Wi-Fi on this setup, otherwise it'll force you to create a Microsoft account. Okay, and then the only way you'll be able to get around it is if you unplug your router so that it's no longer pushing Wi-Fi to your computer, or you're going to have to basically drive away to where your Wi-Fi can't reach the computer, and then it will basically have issues connecting to the Wi-Fi or internet, and then it will finally let you create your local account again. But here you can see, okay, it's going to start up again just like before, and this time it's going to give us the option to say you don't have any internet. I don't know why Microsoft is so dead set on forcing people into this. I don't know what they get out of it. I guess they try and make it so where people use their OneDrive and BitLocker and all that encryption stuff, and then what they do is they'll say, oh, by the way, I guess you're not having enough OneDrive storage to back up all your stuff, and then they will push onto you to buy their Office 365 to give you 1 terabyte of storage, and maybe that's what they're trying to do. I don't know what else they get out of it, but yeah. Anyways, here you go, same thing, United States, okay. It's going to continue again. United States, okay. Skip this. And now it's going to ask for Wi-Fi. And see, now we have the option, I don't have internet. I'm going to shift tab to I don't have internet. And then it's going to be like, are you sure? Are you sure you don't have internet? Okay, actually it didn't do that. Usually it will do that on Windows 10. It'll say, are you sure? Windows is better if you have an internet and your Microsoft account. But anyways, now you can create your whatever username you want. It's not linked to Microsoft. And yeah, all right, hopefully this video helped you guys out. Sorry it was all that extra added complication with the SSD not working, but I guess that will help some people because maybe they'll try and plug in their SSD and go, why isn't it working? What's wrong with my computer? Is something wrong with the SSD? Is something wrong with the adapter? And then you find out it's just the SSD, okay? So anyways, there you go. Hopefully it helped. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. I know some people, they don't like that I put all this extra stuff, but it's helpful to some people, and that's all that matters. All right, again, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, let's drop this. Bye.